with a controversial war raging in Vietnam. Anger and distrust of the military spread amongst the American public.
A 3-hour parade takes the demonstrators across the Potomac on their way to the Pentagon.
Military institutions, including some on college campuses, became targets.
At Howard, they had issues with ROTC.
And the fact that the Reserve Officers Training Corps was mandatory at the time for all physically fit male students. Sit-in student protests in '68 helped to end that. But even after the U.S. closed the chapter in Vietnam, the anti-military sentiment remained.
I would say the atmosphere at Howard was rather tense.
David Fax and Greg Harrod arrived at Howard University in 1972.
That's me.
Okay.
That's me as a sophomore. That's Colonel Fax.
Eventually joining the cadet ranks of the Air Force ROTC in Howard's Detachment 130. But their enthusiasm was often met with disapproval on campus.
And lab means that's the day that you have your ROTC class and you've got to be in uniform. Well, we would try to figure out any kind of way that we could get in that lab and out
without being seen.
Without being seen.
Those uncomfortable moments, they say, were easily outweighed by the support and the life lessons poured into them by Lieutenant Colonel Ivan Ware, their commander, and an original Tuskegee Airman who served on D-Day.
Colonel Ware was a very modest individual. He never talked about his involvement.
It appeared to me as though he felt his whole purpose there was to graduate as many pilots, black pilots, as he could.
But the program that fostered their talent nearly became a casualty of the post-war military drawdown.
There was talk of getting rid of ROTC across the whole region, not just at Howard.
Lieutenant Colonel Ware was instrumental in keeping that from happening.
He was able to call on a Tuskegee Airman buddy of his. At that time, he was a 4-star, had just been promoted to 4-star, Daniel Chappie James, and explained the situation to General James. General James was very interested in making sure that we still had blacks coming off the street becoming officers, not just enlisted.
They say the general fought for them thanks to Lieutenant Colonel Ware's influence, and say that eventually led to a consortium.
So he made a special effort to make sure that Howard University was going to have Air Force ROTC, and all of the other institutions in the area had Air Force ROTC, and the ones from Catholic and Georgetown and George Washington. 7
News was fortunate to be there to celebrate Ware's 100th birthday in 2023. He would pass away the next year. But as former students say, his legacy lives on, touching several universities.
So when I look at the detachment as it is today, I'm very happy that there's a consortium with other surrounding schools. But in particular, I'm just glad that Howard has survived, and Howard still is able to let people know of its history. And that was because of Colonel Ware.
Carl Willis, 7 News.